Hello, my name is David Ajay and I played the role of Femi. His Sickled Journey was inspired by a bunch of things. You know, myself and Phil wanted to write a rom-com. We love love.
I'm Phil Osai and I directed his Sickled Journey. David and I do these things we call like lab sessions. So we just like work on ideas and scripts that we have. And then a Mark Wahlberg film came out, Instant Family. And we were just like, oh, let's go cinema.
We watched a film called Instant Family, which had a PSA for fostering kids.
Every single time we watch a comedy or a family comedy, it's inspirational. I think at the time we were writing a family comedy. Yeah, we were writing a family comedy at the time.
And we came out of that film like, wow, this is what filmmaking should be. Filmmaking should be encouraging you to do something good. And we're like, oh, we know some good causes. What good cause can we really get behind? And then it hit us like a truck. We remembered our amazing, inspirational friend Tito, who has her own platform, her Sickled Journey.
I'm Tito Oye, and I have a platform called Her Sickled Journey. The inspiration to start Her Sickled Journey was just from like my life experiences. I was going through quite a bit growing up with sickle cell, but there weren't that many people who could relate, or I didn't even know anyone with it. So I just kind of wanted to make a platform that I would have wanted as a kid, kind of answering the questions that I had.
Sickle cell is something that affects a lot of Black people, and it's something that requires awareness, because it seems like a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of things people don't know about it. A lot of things I learned about it on the job, but yeah, so that's where the film came from. So we basically just went into another lab session, came up with the idea. I can't remember what time of the night it was. We called our friend Tito.
I got a random call one day. They're like, oh, Tito, are you home? And I was like, yeah. And then they came to my house with like this whiteboard of this new short film idea.
We just like went with one massive whiteboard of the whole idea, just like plotted out all the scenes that we want to have in it. It was me, David and Toby.
And they were just explaining it to me and I was like, whoa, guys, like this is amazing. I was really loving it. So yeah, just from there, literally, they told me the idea and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely down to do whatever needs to be done.
After that, the idea just basically started going, and then we just began production like a year and a bit later because of the pandemic.
Behind the sceneception.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No, oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Where's my phone?
Everybody's here. Yes. We're looking good. We're up and early. Pretty much set. I lose on snacks. Everyone's eating good as usual.
No, right?
My name is Aidu Adelgun and I'm head of blogs at Room 113. A lot of times when it comes to creating any type of content or creating anything, you never know when the right time is, but you just have to do it anyway. Sometimes we're pressed for time, sometimes we feel like we don't have the right resources, but I felt like, especially when it came to this film and this cause, you just have to go for it and do it anyway.
This story needs to be told because not enough people know about sickle cell. They don't know about how serious it is or how many people it affects. So it's long overdue almost. And I'm just so thankful that someone has paid attention and is actually giving it the attention it needs.
The best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago. The second best time is now. So it's a case where we probably should have done this time ago, but now is always the best time. So we're just like, cool, do we have the resources? Can we acquire the resources? Then yeah, let's just get this going. Like we went through a process of applications for funding, for resources and everything. A lot of them were rejected. So it's just a case of, well, what can we do between Room 113? And then we just got it going as soon as we could.
My name is Toby Alo and I'm the co-founder of Room 113. It was a good time to execute everything in the way that we'd want to, or close to. Every time we've done a shoot or like a video or anything like that, we've improved each time, and it was evident again this time. So I'd say, yeah, it was a good time. But then also, I think it was becoming more real because I'm coming across more people with sickle cell. I'm very aware of it at the moment, so I guess that's part of it as well.
Top of the scene, it needs to be lovey-dovey. It needs to be like, oh, you guys do this. Like,
Yeah,
this is normal for you guys, right? I don't know if you like had a look around this area, but it does look like a type of romantic.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Place. Like you look like down there looks like someone just proposed. You know what I mean? So yeah, we just get yourself in that headspace. I was drawn to direct this film because I love love. I love rom-coms. Rom-coms are my favorite genre. May not seem that way, but it is.
My brother Phil was the only choice to direct this film because we conceived it together, and he is someone who I trust fully.
He knows everyone's strengths and weaknesses.
He is able to use his knowledge, his skills, his experience to get what I believe was both him and David's vision together on screen.
He knows what he wants to do with the story, with the complete picture. And I'm like, yo, put this in his hands, it's gonna be gold.
And I think he was able to get the best out of David because they have a close relationship, so probably he's able to communicate certain things better than most other people would.
I would love to direct rom-coms in the future, love stories as well in the future. I understand why people don't necessarily like them anymore, but I feel like they're super necessary. So yeah, there was no other option. Like I had to direct it. Little shots here and there, if you want to get profile, food, picture, all that stuff.
You better not do it. Stop it. Don't know what get crushed. Don't know what I've been through. Don't know what you gonna get crushed. You hear that? You hear that? You hear that? And you're dancing. Talk about my band like that. You're dancing. You're dancing. Do that.
Come here, myself.
My name is Vivian Isabel and I play the role of Shanice. I was drawn to Shanice because her character was someone that knew what she wanted. She has sickle cell, but she doesn't let that define her. So that, for me, is a very inspiring trait to have. This idea that you're not kind of a diagnosis or a label, that you're bigger. Your identity is bigger than that. So that really drew me to her.
I wanted Femi to be perceived as kind of your everyman, but also kind of a bit of an extreme version of the everyman, like someone who's just very overthinking, very anxious, because I feel like that is a lot of us a lot of the time. I know a lot of people worry about things, and it helps for him to worry about this specific thing for this film because it shows how much he grows as he learns about it and how little he has to worry about by the end of it, really.
I prepared for the role with the help of David and Phil. So we spent time during rehearsals kind of figuring out how is Shanice feeling in this moment, how is she feeling about Femi, and then also from her kind of character description, having to think about that in the script, like who is she, how does she feel in these different kind of scenes and moments. So yeah, really just spending time exploring that and making it really clear before we got to filming.
I hope that people empathize with Femi. I hope that people relate to Femi. I also hope that people are annoyed at Femi and are like, listen, why is this guy panicking so much? It's just this thing, because ultimately I want people to get to where Femi is by the end of the film, a place of understanding of sickle cell and not of fear.
From playing the role of Shanice, some of the difficulties I learned that people with sickle cell might struggle with is the fact that when they date, it's such a big thing, or it can be such a big thing, especially if people aren't aware of the condition. And I guess all the kind of family planning that, wanting the person you're with to be checked so you know what kind of future your children might have. So just all the kind of backlog that you just wouldn't think about if you didn't have the condition. I think that really taught me a lot about what people are kind of going through mentally. You do know that's another thing to consider. Do you know your genotype?
My advice to people who need to have the conversation about finding out what your genotype is or your partner's genotype is it's just to do it as soon as possible. It's It's a big question to ask, and I know a lot of the time, at least in my case, you don't want people to think, oh my gosh, why are you already thinking about marriage? Kids, I only just met you. Like, they're going to be thinking like, run kind of thing. But it shouldn't be as big of a topic as it is made out to be. And just the hope is that the more that we speak about it casually, the more normal it becomes, because it is such an important question, and we need to do what we can to we just need to be as informed as possible when it comes to planning families. And so yeah, ask as soon as you can.
Is he ready yet?
I think maybe 5 more minutes.
No. I can take it.
The first time I gave blood, I was quite anxious because I just didn't know what to expect.
It was a bit nerve-wracking, I won't lie.
I was worried about the needle mainly because I'm just not used to needles. I don't really like blood.
I was actually with Titor and Ike at the time, who were two of my friends. Titor encouraged me to do the experience of, to check whether I could give blood. So it was quite simple, the process of just registering and going. I went at Tooting Blood Donor Centre, I think it was.
It's so easy to register to give blood. Like, if you call the number, I'm sure like within 2 rings you'll be speaking to somebody. It's such a quick process. They'll take your information and just book you in as soon as they can.
And yeah, it was just very simple. It was nerve-wracking, but when I got there, everything was fine. And I did it in quite a short period of time as well, so it was quite good.
I didn't even realise that the needle was in once it was in. And then it was quite a quick process. I think the only thing was I had to do that squeezy thing and I had to kick my legs out, but it's not that deep. It was like 5-10 minutes and it was done, so it was fine. And then afterwards I felt fine as well, so yeah.
They texted me where they had issued my blood as well afterwards. I just felt really good afterwards. I felt like I'd done something good, and yeah, I think everyone should give blood if they can.
The first time I received blood, it was weird because at least the first few times it was like a last resort, in the sense where the doctor didn't really know what was going on, but they knew that if I got a blood donation that it could help relieve whatever symptoms I was experiencing. So it was like a lifeline almost.
It's a wrap on day 1. I'm eating pizza, I'm feeling good. Got my queens in the cup, Lil Lou. Got Stacey, Honey.
The overall experience of making a film was amazing. I was a production assistant, and I always feel great supporting my team, supporting Phil and supporting David.
I enjoyed being on set, enjoyed working with everyone, I enjoyed seeing everyone in the element.
I'm happy, we're excited.
Okay guys, 10 minutes, let's go.
She's literally still on job. The experience overall was amazing. The team was just so lovely. Like, it was such a vibe whenever we stepped on to the set. So from like the reading to the rehearsals to the actual recording days, like, it was just a pleasure the whole time round.
I spent one day on set and it was amazing. Like, I was just smiling ear to ear.
She's here. Special guest.
What made it difficult this time is COVID, in the sense that before it never had to be a consideration, but this time I had to miss a couple of shoots because of like coming into contact with people with COVID. So it showed me firsthand how like the industry might have to change slightly because of it. And like, yeah, you have to take certain precautions. So I think that was the only negatives really, but yeah, the whole process I pretty much enjoyed apart from that.
So in the whole process of writing and creating and portraying Femi, I think the biggest challenge for me was definitely the amount of hats I had to wear. We were an able team, but we're still a small team with limited budget. So a lot of things we all had to share and do together. And so when it came to, saying action and now it's time for me to be Femi, I was like, I'm still thinking of this and I'm thinking of that and worrying about all these things. And it was a bit of a battle for me to stay in character and get into character. But thankfully we got there, at least for the shots that made it in the film.
I'm still quite a novice when it comes to being on a set, but I learned so much and I just love our energy on the set and seeing the talent, seeing everyone's dedication and involvement is amazing. And especially for this film as well, because it had such a strong and important message, I felt very proud to just be part of something bigger. And I'm really excited for the outcome and for what is to come as a result of it as well.
And the fact that it's such an important topic, like sickle cell runs in my family, I've got a sickle cell trait, so it felt very personal. So to be part of it felt like such a privilege, and to be able to push this message just feels like, it's been one of the highlights of my year. So it's been beautiful.
It was just really heartwarming because some things you just don't think that people will care about as much as you do, because like for me, I deal with it personally, so I'm personally invested into raising awareness for sickle cell. But seeing other people who don't really have any sort of connection to it carry that vision and that goal, it was so good to see.
I've just been smiling like throughout.
And she's got a smile. She's got a smile. She does have a smile. See, Colin knows. This is our guy Colin.
Alright guys, that's a wrap. So we have a hand for our colleagues at the NHS, please.
Giving blood is something that's important. It can save lives. It can help a lot of people. And if people take away anything from the film, I want it to be that giving blood is important.
I want people to also realize that sickle cell is a very serious condition. I feel like because it may not affect people that you know or people in your circle, people don't really pay attention to it, and they just kind of think it's not as serious as it is. So just to give a bit more respect to what we go through.
So what I want people to take from this film is, I guess, to take people as they are, and to understand that, especially within the Black community, things like sickle cell, they exist, and it's not this kind of scary taboo topic. People are still people. So to just really, I guess, educate ourselves around it and to be able to hold space for people who do have the condition.
We as Room 113 hope this film impacts the community by raising awareness about sickle cell. It raises awareness about the importance of donating blood, and also just encourages conversation about sickle cell and about talking about your genotype, just talking about sickle cell in our community in general. Sickle cell isn't something that we should shy away from. We shouldn't keep in hushed tones within our community. And I just really hope that through this film, we can talk more about it, and be encouraged to talk more about it, so that through our conversations, we can just learn more about the condition and support those with the condition as well.
Yeah, can't lie, man, I put in the work every day, non-stop, just to build my wealth. They can't solo do what I do, or mute, so sad, it's true. What they hear about you?